let's talk about your cart drawer. You know that little side panel that slides out when someone clicks on the cart icon on your clothing store? It's one of the most powerful yet underutilized tools in your entire e-commerce experience. Why? Well, that's because the drawer cart is the last checkpoint before someone actually makes a purchase, right? Or potentially bounces out. And here's the harsh truth. Most clothing brands are losing thousands of potential revenue every month just because their drawer is built like an afterthought. Or maybe because you had the dawn theme and they just don't give you a whole lot of options. So the first thing that you truly want to nail down with this cart drawer, and to be honest, I'm going to show you how to do some of these things. I'm going to show you some examples from different themes and what they have available. But one of the first things that I want you to do is nail the visual hierarchy of what needs to be in your cart. Let me show you an example of one that it's a good one, but it could also be just so darn busy. So let me show you True Classic. So True Classic has a pretty robust drawer cart. But as you can see, I have like just one 3-pack product in here for $49.99. And there's just a lot in here. There's definitely quite a few things. And really one of the main things here is, and they're testing this because I haven't seen it every single time, but it's this membership that you can sign up to in order to get better pricing and better perks. Essentially some form of a rewards program, if you will, but sort of blending it into more of a membership where you pay a fee to get these benefits. And I think visually it just seems like a lot, but I just wanted to show you a little bit of what we're talking about, right, when it comes to the visual hierarchy. And a lot of times, you know, when you think about visual hierarchy, it's like what goes on top, what goes at the bottom, right? At the very top, always free shipping threshold. If you're not doing a free shipping threshold, then having just a simple message, simple line text that says free shipping on all orders, right? Or if you don't have a free shipping threshold at all, then letting them know flat rate shipping of $5.99 for all US orders, right? Some form of indication on how shipping actually works. And at the very minimal, you know, type of messaging, which by default it will show you this, is just shipping rates, you know, calculated at checkout. That will inform the customer that the shipping rates will kind of fluctuate and there's not necessarily a flat rate, or I'm not going to get free shipping essentially because they're calculated at checkout. So that type of messaging needs to be at the very top of your cart. And at the very bottom, in terms of the visual hierarchy, right, there needs to be a singular button, secure checkout, a little lock, all good recommendations there. What I don't want you to have here in terms of the visual hierarchy is either the button kind of floating above some additional, you know, items, or any upsells right underneath the actual checkout button. The checkout button should be at the very bottom of this, and the free shipping should be at the very top. What you put in between, I think, can vary a little bit, but I would say my recommendation right after the free shipping should be the actual products that are in the cart. And then from there, all the way to the bottom, like, we can kind of talk about some of the add-ons and some of the things that we'll want to have in here. Now, the second thing that I want you to add here within your cart, it's going to be some form of upsell or cross-sell. And that's where things can actually get fun and actually profitable for you, right? You can actually use this drawer cart to increase your average order value without being too pushy, right? And for the example here with True Classic, you can see right here they have a no-brainer add-ons where you can add some of their sort of basics, right, to your cart, and they make it super easy for you to do that. These type of contextual cross-sells are going to be super important because these should maybe change, right, when you're adding, depending on the things that you have within your cart. If they don't change, if you don't have the ability to do that, and we'll show you some visuals here from some other brands, then doing something like what True Classic is doing, where they're kind of just showcasing either some of their best sellers or some of the items that complement everything else, right? If you're selling t-shirts, maybe you have, I don't know, bandanas, right? Or socks, like something is an additional item. It shouldn't be the exact same cost. It should be a little bit of a lower cost item compared to what they have on their cart. So something like an addition or an add-on type product, a matching hat or a matching beanie, would be excellent, right? If I'm adding a hoodie, and that combination of those add-on products is what's gonna make sense for the customer, not something that is completely out of the ballpark of what I'm actually shopping right now. And just to kind of visually show you a few examples of what these cross sells could look like. I have the Aurora theme in here. They have a pretty interesting concept of having these "you may also like," which we can change that heading in that title, and you can actually showcase some additional products, in addition to my cart. So it's kind of like the cart, and it's like a little bit extra. There's a few themes that have this option, and I think it's pretty great. I love the way that the Aurora has this, and the way that they've done it. They actually done a really good job with their cart. There's other themes out there that by default, for example, we have a Stiletto in here. If for empty cart promotion, right, we can actually select certain collections, but for something like this, it will look very simple. So as you can see, like we have this product in the cart, but we don't have any upsells or cross sells. But once we remove our product, then we at least have, it's not necessarily an upsell or a cross sell, but when the cart is empty, then we actually have some links to showcase in here, which is, it's a good option, I would say. It's not absolutely horrible. And True Classic also has something similar, where if we get rid of this and we have the cart completely open, they still keep their add-ons, but then they have this sort of shop by category where they have crew necks and new arrivals. So it's kind of like the same concept with Stiletto, right? Where you can still shop around if they click on that quick cart. But now Stiletto also has the option to have either specific products, so you can see product list, or an actual collection that we can promote as you add things to the cart. So if we click save on this, and let me go ahead, and we can go to the best sellers from here. Yes, we can. Let's add to bag, and let's view the cart. And as you can see, we have these additional products right here at the bottom, last chance to save. And again, some of that copy we can actually change ourselves. But I just wanted to show you that visually, some of these items and some of these things are available with some of the themes out there. Obviously, like I mentioned at the beginning, the Dawn theme doesn't have almost any of these features. But I'll just stick around here for a little bit and I'll show you how you can do that. And at a glance, even right here, by default, some of these themes already enable some of the features that we just recommended, right? Single checkout button at the bottom, free shipping threshold right there at the top. You go into the products, and then we have cross sells and upsells right underneath the actual products. Something small that I always recommend to do in here is having that order notes. So adding order notes just so the customer can actually communicate with you with X, Y, and Z. Otherwise, they will have to submit order and then try to find a contact page to try to contact you that way. It's always beneficial for the customer. It's one of those things. It's a very little thing that a lot of times is going to be in your theme settings, where you just have to, right here, show order notes. It's a very simple toggle that you turn on and off in order for the customers to be able to communicate about their particular order. Now, beyond these things, you're really going to be very limited with anything in addition, right, to these things. And that's where an app can actually help quite a lot, right? If we wanted to include potentially some additional checkout buttons, for example, which would be something that it could work in here. If you didn't want to just have the checkout, but you wanted to do Shop Pay and PayPal just maybe right underneath, that could be something that could be beneficial here within the cart. I would not recommend those buttons on the product page, but I would recommend them here on the cart once the customer can see all their product at a glance and their subtotal. Then having those quick checkout buttons could be beneficial. Hey, before we move on, I just want to say my name is Christian Pignon, one of the co-founders here at Bit Branding. We specialize in helping clothing brands scale online. We've served over 300 clothing brands in the last year alone. I would appreciate it if you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our latest content. Something else that you could do in here could be some of the trust signals or trust badges. This is where really we're tapping into buyer psychology, right? And trying to keep them at ease about certain things. It could be delivery times, it could be return policy, it could be the fact that it's secure payment, and all of these things you can add very easily with an app. So let's jump into an app, because at this point, these examples that I've given you, again, are kind of the extent of what you can do with a lot of these carts out there. Sure, there may be a theme out there that can handle maybe a couple more things, but with one of these apps, we can actually add some additional things. So with something like UpCart, cart drawer app, we have a basically full cart editor where we can go in here and add all of our features and all of the things that we want essentially from here, which is absolutely amazing. So we have the cart editor in here. Obviously, it gives us the option to make sure that it matches your brand colors and the way that your brand presents itself. So here's where you'll have that option to potentially, like round the corners, for example, or change the background colors, or change the color of the buttons or the full text, essentially. So those are all things that we can change here within the design. In terms of the header, we could add a brand logo, we could add a bunch of stuff, but I would try to keep it simple. Definitely the word cart or even your cart would be beneficial to have there from at the very top. I think cart quantity makes a lot of sense in here to include. And then after that, then we have all the goodies, right, that you can build in from right here. So a couple of things. Let's make sure this is what I'm talking about with it. For example, express payments. If we do PayPal, let's say Apple Pay, there we go. So yeah, again, a very clean version of, you have the checkout and then you're giving them a couple options. I wouldn't do more than 2 options. So I would try to choose maybe some of your most popular options here. I would think Shop Pay would probably be one of the most popular ones out there. So I would highly recommend doing something like that. The other good thing that this has is, yeah, that trust badges section. So something like this will show just right underneath, it should show right underneath your express payment buttons. So let's go ahead and see if we can activate this, and I'll do that. Do like payment icons, for example, position bottom. And I would have that at the very bottom of the page. So that could be another option if you're not doing the express payment icons, which let me see if I can just disable that real quick. That could be another just quick way to let the customer know, hey, these are all sort of like the accepted payment options that we have here for our store. So that could be also very, very beneficial. But if you don't do the payment options, then uploading your own icons with talking about the way that you do returns or the way that you do shipping could also be very beneficial right within here. I think in addition to that, I mean, yeah, we have order notes, which would be something that I would want to activate. So special instructions there. In terms of the announcement, I believe this is the, okay, yeah, no, that's more for, yeah, your products are reserved for, you know, a specific amount of time. I wouldn't do something like this. I don't think this is necessary, especially if the customer is going to know that this is not real. There's a little bit of a issue with trust, right? If I see like, hey, this cart is about to expire in 1 minute, and I come back
2 hours later and
the cart's still there or the products are still available, it's just not a good look overall. But yeah, I would say those are the things that I would highly suggest. And again, if your theme doesn't have upsells, then this UpCart can actually handle upsells right here within the cart. It can also do rewards, product recommendations, subscription upgrades. So there's definitely a lot of cool things that you can do with UpCart or similar apps. Another one that we recommend a lot is also going to be Monster Cart Upsell, which can do a lot of these things and do buy one, get one off free. So you have some other different options in terms of what that offer is going to be once they get here into the cart. Hold up just 1 second. I just wanted to say that if you are a clothing brand owner and you want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how to grow it profitably, then you can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots, so you can find out some time in the link in the description down below. And there you have it. Those are some of the elements that I want to see in your cart drawer today. So go fix those things. And if you're still on the fence on maybe what some additional apps you want to use, then you want to check out this video here.